Welcome to the British Grand Prix for Moto3 here at Silverstone. We're ready for the lights to go out. Let's join the commentary team at TNT Sports.
Well, imagine jumping off a 230 brake horsepower British superbike with no electronics onto a 60 brake horsepower little Moto3 bike. Yeah, he used to race them back in the day, but it's been 5 years since he's been on a little bike, so this week everything was a little bit of fun, replacing Marcus Uriarte, who's still injured unfortunately for the MLab Racing, and Max is not expecting anything, but do you know what, he got the opportunity to do the British Grand Prix and he thought, why not? So he'll enjoy the race.
He's carrying an extra 12 kilos, and that's not a fat or anything like that. That is just pure muscle that you wouldn't have if you were doing this full time. Eddie O'Shea, obviously, is his teammate this weekend.
Yeah, Eddie O'Shea with a good chance, you know, in front of the British public, trying to up his game a little bit. So yeah, it's you know, when you come to your Grand Prix, you always get that extra motivation, and sometimes that allows you to take it to that next level. So that's what we'll be hoping for Eddie, you know, to do a good solid race and just take it to that next stage.
Some David Munoz fans here. He goes from 7th.
He'll be exciting, he'll fancy his chances.
He always does.
He'll be brave, he'll risk it. But you know, you just mentioned Eddie O'Shea. I was just thinking then as you talked about him, Sylvan, these are the weekends. The British Grand Prix. It's windy, it's blustery, it's British. You know, you are used to these conditions essentially if you're from the UK, so take advantage of it, risk a little bit more. These are the days you can get the results. When I think of your career, Sylvan, you always took advantage, sometimes on an uncompetitive bike in tricky conditions, and you risked a bit more, you got the results, and these are the days that can almost define you. I'm not exaggerating. These are your chances to impress. So a Scott Ogden, for example, or an Eddie O'Shea. And
Scott Ogden's got pace. He just didn't qualify well at all. He didn't put the qualify together.
15th, but he looks so much better than that. Yeah, he looks top 5.
He's top five pace for Scott. So a great chance.
3rd and 4th in the first 2 sessions. So he has got the pace. So you've nothing to lose. Scott Ogden is in his 4th year of Grand Prix racing. You've nothing to lose. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to be here next year, so why not just throw everything at it?
Max Keeles is going from the 2nd row. He's also created some headlines this year and has looked good around the circuit.
Oh, he's a very, very special talent. That lad, Keeles, coming back from that injury with the hand, did well in Le Mans with that injury that was fresh, and yeah, the talent of that lad is unreal. So you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him fighting for the win today.
Yeah, we were just looking at Dennis Foggia. Luca Lunetto, I'd like to mention him as well, rounding out the 2nd row.
Yeah, super aggressive, look good. This track seems to suit the Hondas. It's more about corner speed. It's not the stop and go nature of some of the tracks we go to. So the Honda benefits, it turns better on faster corners, so I expect to see Luneta right in the mix.
So in a sentence, what are we looking out for here?
Well, I'm gonna because Piqueras is on the front row, he's my man, super aggressive.
Okay, there you go. You want to throw one name in?
Yeah, my head is with Rieda, my heart is with Kelso.
There we go, let's go to comms then. Michael Laverty is alongside Gavin Emmett. Final race of the day, Gav.
Yeah, I don't know if my heart's going to be able to take it, but it's Moto3 around Silverstone. Jose Antonio Rueda sent to the back of the grid for his naughtiness during practice. His teammate, Alvaro Carpi, promoted to start from pole for the first time in Grand Prix racing. Well, Silverstone always throws up a story. You could already write a whole book on what we've already witnessed today, but now it's the turn of the Moto3 World Championship. Here at the tail is the fact that Alvaro Carpe leads them away for the first time in his Moto3 career, but that's because the rookie inherits pole after a penalty for his teammate and championship leader Jose Antonio Rueda, who now faces the fight from the very back of the grid. Alongside Carpe you saw Piqueras and Almanza. Almanza himself has a long lap penalty to take for slow riding in practice. Loads of pace throughout the field. We saw Joel Kelso before. Scott Ogden has top 5 pace, as we've been hearing from down on the grid. Can he make it a British Grand Prix to remember? Double long lap penalties for Ryusei Yamanaka and Ruche Moodley. Same old story, a little bit of slow riding online. But Jose Antonio Rueda's behind the 2 Brits of Michaels, Max Cook and Eddie O'Shea. Max in for the British Superbike Championship. Can he tag on to the back of Jose Antonio Rueda? He'll have a job on to do it. But Jose Antonio Rueda's penalty is a big one, isn't it, Michael? It's come from the fact that Simon Crafer spoke to all these riders about what Rueda did during qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, it was naughty because he's already been seen to do it earlier in the year. He's still on a reasonably fast lap time. He's not outside the 110%, but he's riding slow on the racing line in those sectors, hoping he does slow up the riders around him. Those are waiting for him to provide a slipstream and a tow. It's naughty, and obviously he's getting the heavy rap in the knuckles, so back of the grid, and Simon has already laid down the law with him. They didn't abide it, so yeah, you know what's going to be handed out if you don't listen to the boss, and he's going down hard on them, and it has to be done.
Chief Steward, of course, former Grand Prix winner Simon Prix, and here in the UK, of course. There's history back of the grid at this race. David Alonso, remember that? 2023, his first Grand Prix win was here. Brad Binder did it, 2016, from the back of the grid. Pedro Acosta, of course, in Doha, 2021, one from pit lane. Come away to do it here.
And the pace he's had this weekend and in recent rounds, it's a tough one to bet against. Obviously, it's usually a group battle here at Silverstone. He's got to make inroads on the early laps and make sure he stays in touch.
Last year, the top 7 were covered by half a second, so that should tell you the story about how much this race is going to bunch together. What about the conditions? We've seen the wind cause problems in terms of the tyres for the other categories. What about here in Moto3, though? Is the wind about the tyres, or is it more about how the bikes feel?
Yeah, more about how the bike's going to be pushed about and how the slipstream effect when you're in a bunch group and all of a sudden you get a massive draft thanks to the wind. But yeah, tyres, less of an issue. Pirellis are quite versatile in the cold and cool conditions. You might get a bit of cold terrain, a bit of banding, but yeah, they should hold up well.
Just explain that to people at home about drafting in the wind. It just seems to have more effect.
Yeah, if you've got a headwind down this long hanger straight and you've got 2 bikes in front, they're hitting a headwind and you're just getting a massive suck from behind. You get a 2-bike draft and you just go straight past them. It provides such a benefit, so we're going to see it here. It typically keeps the group together when you've got a windy track and a lot of these little bikes. 60 brake horsepower, it's hard to push through that headwind.
There is Alvaro Carpe, rookie this year, was on the podium at the opening round in Thailand. He's been there or thereabouts. He was 4th in France. He sits 6th in the championship, and he starts from pole position for the very first time. Alongside him, Angel Piqueras, who has already won twice this year. He's in 2nd. David Almanza has a long lap penalty to take, but has had really good pace throughout the weekend. But we'll have to go through the loop at Luffield once in this race. And Joel Kelso in 4th. Remember, Jose Antonio Rueda, the championship leader, starts from the back, and with Silverstone's wide open track, Moto3 is about to burst into life. Remember, we've got the long straights. Nothing is going to be certain around here today with the Rueda coming from the back. Hold on, because after what we've seen in Moto2 and MotoGP, this one has got chaos written all over it. We're ready to go. We have got 15 laps of Moto3 in the British Grand Prix, and when the lights go out, we are underway. And a really good start from Carpe. Everyone on the front row, in fact, got away well. Quiles from the 2nd row got the best of starts, perhaps, from back there, but it's as they were down into turn 1 as Carpe leads. I'm looking at Rueda, already past 5 through the first couple of corners at the back, but Carpe leads them down into village for the first time.
Quiles down the inside of Almanza, not this time, but yeah, as all situation normal through the loop as well, bunching up a little bit there in the middle of the pack.
Good move from Valentin Perone. He goes up into 6th place, so the Argentine already up a couple of spots ahead of David Munoz, who's gone backwards. Joel Kelso's there in 5th place, but it's Carpe from Almanza. Piqueras is in 3rd. Almanza has got the drive on Carpe down towards Brooklands. Quiles in turn comes past on Piqueras. That will allow Kelso perhaps to ride through as Piqueras goes. He's forced really wide there. He's going to drop in behind Luca Lunetta. Two don't fit in there, and Lunetta forced to sit up by the aggression of Piqueras early on.
Yeah, Piqueras doesn't give an inch, does he? Luca Lunetta trying to lean on him, but yeah, Angel Piqueras forcing the issue there around Luffield.
Rueda already up to 19th. Just keep an eye on him, top of your picture. He is on the number 99 as Quiles now comes up into 2nd. What an exciting talent this young rookie is. As Dennis Fudge, a previous British Grand Prix winner, is out of the race by the looks of things. Down there at Brooklands, Luffield, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it looks like it's a technical. He was going toe-to-toe with Scott Ogden through Linktree. You can just see Scott. He's tagged onto this group, the green machine there, back in 13th on the leaderboard at the moment. This is good for Scott Ogden. The boys did say he's got the taste for top 5 today.
Yeah, he's got to be aggressive though, hasn't he, to move up through this order as Almanza takes charge down the Hanger straight. Look at him hugging the white line on the inside. That's because of the slipstream effect that Michael was talking about before the start of this race. Carpe on the inside of Quiles, down into Stoke corner. Favourite move here. Who's going to run a little bit wide through there? Peroni ever so slightly. They come round down towards Vale for the very first time. And Almanza's going to hang on, but Quiles straight away back at Carpe. Lunetta and Kelso side by side in there. Across the line at the end of the first lap is David Almanza leading. Peroni up, forced out wide there as Carraro came through. And remember, Almanza does have a long lap penalty to take.
Yeah, David Almanza's looked good all weekend. Strong pace for the left-hand rider. The Honda works good around this fast-flowing racetrack. Here is Jose Antonio Rueda, who could well be a threat for victory yet. He's having to make his way through, which he's not often having to do on Stefano Nepa down in 18th.
Whoa! Lunetta so tight on the inside there, just rammed it onto the side of Joel Kelso's bike, and Kelso, the Australian, forced to sit up. So, as Almanza leaves them, it's all going off behind. Rueda still down in 17th place, but just steadily making his way into this race. 3 seconds down on the leaders.
First signal for Ryusei Yamanaka. Will he take it early here? The double long black penalty, the first time of asking it is Almanza straight round.
See, I'm intrigued by that. I thought Almanza might have saved it for a couple of laps, try and open up the gaps as much as possible. Now he's going to have a whole host of riders in front of him as he rejoins behind Scott Ogden, actually, in 12th place. So not too bad as Rueda on Ruchet, Hootley and Cormac Buchanan, actually it was, who he went through there, the Kiwi. So he's up to 16th now.
I think that's worked okay for David Almanza. He's on the back of the lead group and he's got the taste to work his way through them. He'll use the draft and he'll pick off a couple lap on lap. So yeah, not too much.
Joel Kelso, that was aggressive from Kelso and Maggots. He just lent, didn't he, on Lunetta. Lunetta just forced to roll out of it. Jacob Ralston's having a really good start to this race as well.
As is Nicolo Carraro up in 7th and number 10 for the sniper squad. You can see the yellow machine in. We've not seen him in a front group battle at any point in his Moto3 career.
No, good to see. Right, so down towards Stoke corner, it's Quiles from Carpe. It's Kelso who's there in 3rd. Luca Lunetta slides through. Makes his presence felt. You know, we've seen this from Lunetta, very similar to Pini that we talked about last time out in France. They are aggressive riders. And talking of aggressive, David Munoz up to 4th into Vale.
He makes his presence felt as soon as he joins any battle at the front of the pack. But David Munoz, he was controlled in terms of his aggression in Le Mans. But he will be looking to deliver here today. He's already getting the run here on Carpe up towards turn 1.
Further back down the order, David Almanza still behind Scott Ogden, but he's about to go through. Jose Antonio Wade is just slightly off. He's about 9 cents per second behind Almanza. So if he can get back onto that front group, he's still in this race, the championship leader. So tight in that group. Angel Piqueras is, for once, being beaten up himself. It's Valentin Perone this time as Piqueras goes backwards again.
Usual to see Piqueras lose positions like this in the early laps. Maybe he's just keeping his powder dry, but usually he'll always fight back and stay within the top 5 of any group.
Into Brooklands, Quiles takes, foot off the outside, foot take there, maybe nervous, as he brings it back round for Luffield. Lunetta is in 2nd place. There is Rueda on the 99. Yamanaka chucked in behind him. Yamanaka will have another long lap penalty to take.
Just looking at Vicente Perez, I think it was, running right onto the gravel at the exit of Luffield. He stayed in touch just about the number 32 machine.
Jacob Ralston making manoeuvres through on Nicola Carraro, through Cox corner, down towards Maggots. Such a fantastic part of the racetrack to watch. As side by side, Lunetta, Quiles, 3 into 1, do not fit. Oh, this is scaring me, just watching them through the complex. But Lunetta hangs on in 2nd place. Still, Quiles leads them. Munoz still in 3rd. Kelso are watching brief in 4th. But it's one of these where you want to be out front, don't you? Because there is some chaos behind.
Yeah, it's almost safer to be right at the head of the pack. Quiles is strong on the brakes. He's good through the direction changes there. And actually, top speed-wise, he's hanging in. No one able to draft him on this occasion, but yeah, it won't always be the case. He is a little wide there, and still it does open the door for the gaggle to all get up the inside.
Yeah, and Lunetta was laying on top of Kelso, but he returned the favour that he had from the lap back. And Kelso now is going to be sitting duck on the outside. Lunetta from miles back there. Carpe hangs hangs on and comes through on Kelso, and it's David Mignoff now who leads the British Grand Prix from Quiles, who's in second place across the line. Carpe is third. That's Peroni there, up to fifth place. An excellent start for the Argentine. And into Abbey. Whoa, through turn one for Valentino Peroni as he goes through and up into fourth.
Yeah, good for Peroni, the young Argentine. He's obviously a rookie in this class with very little Moto3 experience. He's rode European Talent Cup and Red Bull rookies prior to this season. No one had him down by this point of the season, already battling right at the very forefront.
Pass or be passed here in Moto3. Real harem-scarum stuff at the start of this British Grand Prix. Meanwhile, left-hand side of your screens in the tower, Jose Antonio Rodi can ride on board with him. That's Scott Upton in front of him, and he's just set fastest lap on the race for Wader. He is 7/10 quicker than the leaders. At one point he was 3 seconds behind. He's now 1.7 behind the leaders as Yamanaka goes for his second long lap penalty. He just rides through the leg of Guido Pini there, Jose Antonio Rueda.
Yeah, wasting no time whatsoever. You can see Furusado's come with him. He's looking at the inside of Pini through Woodcote. But yeah, Jose Antonio Rueda's there now. He's pretty much in the group battle.
Almanza's done well, isn't he? He's back in it now. He's made up a couple of spots on this lap. Through on Lunetta by the looks of things. No, Lunetta's got back in front of him. Here's Kelso. Wow, Kelso is so strong into Maggots.
Yeah, multi-bike draft up the slight incline towards Maggots, and he just toughs it out before they grab the brakes and shift back the gears and change direction.
You'd think there's only one line through the complex, but it's like they're riding side by side through there.
Yeah, Moto3, they can't fit through there two, maybe sometimes three abreast. It is brave stuff from all these riders.
Kelso then with Quiles behind. You wouldn't think that Quiles was probably a foot taller, it feels like, than Joel Kelso, but Kelso does hang on down into Stowe Corner. Kelso no stranger now to leading races, and I wonder if Joel can try and stretch them out here, because this group race is not helping anyone at the sharp end. It's bringing Jose Antonio Rueda back in as Lunetta again. Kelso's down out the lead on the exit of the Bell chicane, trying to push on the pace, and the Aussie, well, for the first time this year, well, actually since Thailand, he's blinked.
It was weird as he was changing direction. Something happened, whether he lost the front, we need to see it from a head-on shot, but quite a strange place to crash.
Meanwhile, David Almanza, despite his long lap penalties, already in the mix here. I'll never forget when David Alonso won the Grand Prix from the back of the grid. The strange outside, round the outside lines that he was running, like Piqueras a little bit there.
Yeah, Piqueras was all the way around the outside as he just takes Lunetta and Almanza into the loop. But yeah, he passed two on the brakes, down the outside. Get creative from nowhere way. He's really strong on the brakes, but yeah, weird way to take it.
That's a strange one, isn't it? That's just like it went as he's trying to move it over, front wheel off the ground.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it was a little wheelie. Yeah, he's just hung onto the throttle, picked the front up, and unfortunately overbalanced without his body fully over there. So yeah.
Oh, and Luca Lunetta just running through the side of David Munoz. There's a little bit of liquid down on the racetrack, that would suggest there. So I wonder, that'll be a penalty for Lunetta, I'm almost certain of it, causing another rider's crash. Let's hope there isn't too much liquid on the racetrack.
Yeah, we've seen those close passes in the middle of Luffield this weekend, but there was a small door open. Munoz was coming back onto the line, and Lunetta barged his way through.
Lunetta is a little bit wild at times. We've seen that when we've watched him through rookies, and I've got a feeling he's going to have a penalty coming his way for that. But what's he got on his helmet as well? Something happened there when he's had a collision. Just looked like something's been dislodged there. Let's have a look again, Michael. This is
slight door ajar, but unfortunately Lunetta went so aggressive through the inside and just hooked the handlebar of Munoz. And I feel for David Munoz there. He's quite the innocent party.
He is, but there you can see the gap there, and Lunetta there just rides through.
Yeah, it's almost with careless abandon. He's opened the throttle into the side of him. I do think Simon Crayfire is going to give an in-race penalty here for Lunetta. It will be a long lap, I do imagine.
Yeah, and David Munoz, though, when you've had your card marked by that many people,
this is the problem.
This is what happens. People are going to come at you, and it's happened. It's not the first time it's happened to him this year.
Yeah, the grass is long, the boys always remember, and they owe you one back.
But you have to say, innocent party in that today. So, meanwhile, we try and gather our thoughts. Yeah, I'm not for long though, because Jacob Ralston's a bit deep through there. It is Quiles leading, Lunetta second for now. There is the number 12, Jacob Ralston, with Jose Antonio Rueda up into 9th place now. Furusato 10th, Perez 11th, Ogden is back in 12th.
Yamanaka's still on the group as well after his 2 long lap penalties, so all the way down to 14th. We've got a group battle here.
Furusato coming through, he qualified, he didn't even get through Q1, did he? In 19th, but this is what Furusato does when it comes to races.
Yeah.
Just gets stuck in, doesn't he?
He does, and you could see him coming through from there. He's on the softer tyres. The Honda seems to like the softer, the SC1 option. Most of these guys in the group are on the SC2 tyres, but yeah, Furusato's making his way through here. He's making another move up the inside of Ralston into Copse. I think he's done it cleanly.
I didn't think my heart could take another race after what we've witnessed in Moto2 and in MotoGP, but here we go again, side by side, into the complex once more, and Peroni, Rueda in front of the Argentine. So Rueda now up into 7th place, Michael, from the back of the grid, ladies and gentlemen. I will remind you, Rueda is in the fight to win this Grand Prix. We're not even at half race distance.
Yeah.
We've got a long lap come up on our timing screens. Surprise, surprise, it is for Luca Lunetta.
Yeah, he was a bit too aggressive on Munoz, and then later in the lap you've seen how aggressive he was on the direction change at Baggett's and Beckett's, but yeah, it is, I think, a justified penalty. He will take it quickly, I would imagine, so he can stay in touch with this group.
Something on Lunetta's helmet, I can't quite work out. Is it a sticker that's coming in? One of the like little fins that he's got on the side of his helmet?
The vent's got dislodged. He's either headbutted something or contact. Yeah, perhaps David Munoz.
Maybe that happened prior to his move on the Spanish rider, but he is going to have to do a long lap penalty. There's Guidini on the top of the championship leader. And this is the problem, isn't it, for Rueda as well in this situation? It's so risky when you're in the middle of the pack. And the shuffle again, Carpe runs a little bit wide, and so Almanza will do exactly the right thing and ride underneath him and come through on the rookie.
I've got a feeling about Almanza here.
Yeah, he looked good all weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, but for David Almanza, this looks very settled, very in control, not making any mistakes at the moment, and worked his way back through the pack after his long lap penalty. And he's back exactly where he needs to be.
Lunetta's taking that long lap loop now around the outside of Luffield. It's a long, long way around. Look at it. You have to not cross the white line at any point. So he'll just lose contact ever so slightly with the group. But he is put to the back of it.
He should be able to get across to Nicolo Carraro. So dropped all the way down to 14th, but not too bad. As we've seen, it is possible here to use the draft to good effect and get back into contention.
Down towards Maggots, this is the bit that's scaring me more than any. Keela is hanging on, Almanza in second. Behind, you've got Alvaro Carpe, who started this race in pole. His left elbow is quite interesting, the way Carpe rides, and he has this sort of unique style there with his elbows out, I've noticed. Saw it earlier around Abbey. And now Almanza is going to take over at the front, it looked like. Yes,
yep.
Got in front of Max Keeles. So Almanza now leads.
A little mistake from Keeles, I didn't see.
I think more than anything, Almanza was getting the run, just rode round the outside of him. I think he ran deep previously in Beckett. Oh, look at that, wide, really, really wide. For Piqueras.
He's just joined the party. Vicente Perez, I've seen him almost run into the gravel out of Luffield earlier in the race. There he is, number 32, just in behind Peroni. We've not seen Vicente up there in a long time.
Keeles. Oh, he's right over the curb on the inside, and that's going to allow Guido Pini to come through. They've got history from the rookies. In fact, a lot of these riders have history from the rookies races.
Yeah, they all know each other through the junior ranks, Red Bull Rookies events that take place in MotoGP. So there's a long history that runs deep, even through junior GP, and sometimes the mini bikes and Moto4 and all the previous series that they will have raced each other in.
Furusato's up to 7th place now, right at the back. He loves a scrap like this. They're getting their money's worth anyway here at Silverstone, the fans who turned up today.
Usually we start with the Moto3, and it's normally the best race of the day and tough to beat. We've had 2 crackers before Moto3, and this one's living up to the billing as well. It's always good when you've got a 14 bike battle. The wind is definitely going to keep this group together, and the slipstream effect will pay off so much at the end of the race.
For British fans, Scott Ogden further back, he's in 12th. Still in this group, 1.5 seconds behind. He just needs to get his elbows out at some point in this race. As Neil put the gauntlet down, wasn't it, to get involved?
Yeah.
Just have to start doing it and start to feel it, because he's got the pace. We haven't quite seen him. There he is on the green bike, just at the back.
Yeah, you can see he's going to have Lunetta for company very soon, and if Scott can come through, use the slipstream, sharpen those elbows, you see outside foot coming off there as he gives way to Quiles on his inside there. But yeah, sensible thing to do, although you don't want to roll off.
Jose Antonio Rueda with that drag down towards Maggots, through Cobbs, and then into Maggots. Sorry, that was my jaw dropping to the floor as Alvaro Carpe went in front of Jose Antonio Rueda through Beckett's.
Yeah, lent on him from the outside, but confidence from Carpe today.
I'd like to try and pick my overtake of the day. Look how tight that is on the inside for Carpe. On the white line, down towards Stowe Corner. Surely it can't finish like this. There is just so much aggression at every single juncture at the moment. Into Vale, still Almanza leads them. Carpe in second as Quiles launches it from downtown.
Almanza stretching a small advantage, but it's just because of the battle as they entered Vale with a little mistake, I think, from Quiles, Peroni. They were just scrapping a little too hard.
Piqueras keeping his powder dry, isn't he? He's got, if you want aggressive moves, wait till Angel Piqueras decides to get stuck in.
Which he typically does in the last third of the race.
Big leg out from Yamanaka. He's had a double long lap penalty, remember, and he's still in the mix for this race. Peroni comes back in front of Quiles. I will remind you as well, Jose Antonio Rueda started from the back of the grid. But I'd say double long lap is almost a bigger penalty.
Yeah, you would say so in the race. So Jose Antonio has been able to just use the draft of each bike and work his way forward, whereas the double long lap you do lose those 3 seconds or more sometimes around here, and then you got to work hard to get back across. So yeah, that's been a 6-second disadvantage to Yamanaka, but he's right in contention and ahead of his teammate at the moment.
So Almanza from Carpe, we are 6.5 laps to go, lap 9 of 15. And we are no closer to knowing who's going to take victory in the final race of the programme here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Delays after the restarted MotoGP race, but thank goodness that we have got this Moto3 race going, because it is a humdinger already. Almanza, look at that, Carpe, I thought he was about to ride around the outside of him again. Through Beckett's. To the right hand, and then he'll fire it left. You've got to get a good run through the inside curve down towards Stowe on the hanger straight.
Two Japanese riders together. Furusato's been quiet for his standards so far in this race, but he's worked his way forward as Yamanaka looking for a move on the inside of Furusato, looking at the head of the field now. Oh, so close between Quiles and the KTM boys right through the middle of Stowe Corner.
Quiles is a talent, isn't he? I'll remind you, he's just in his 4th Grand Prix start, and he is something special. No wonder Aspar was so desperate to wait. Sorry, 3rd Grand Prix start, my apologies. Took pole, of course, last time out in France, 2nd on the grid in Circuit of the Americas. His 2 results so far have been a 5th and a 7th. Surely that first podium isn't going to be too far away, because we are seeing some really aggressive and successful riding at the moment.
Peroni's impressing me here.
Yeah.
The number 73 is on the Tech 3 KTM down the inside of Maximo Quiles. He looked like he was looking for an overtake down the outside as he braked into Village, but then used it to roll around the outside and steal the line away at the loop.
Look, when you said before, he has not raced in the Junior World Championship. He's come for you, rookies. He's done the European Talent Cup. How do you put that into perspective? How do you relate that to people at home?
Yeah,
what's the European Talent Cup in comparison to this?
The European Talent Cup is maybe 18 brake horsepower less, but they're a production-based Moto3 bike. It's a slightly lower level of Moto3 racing, but it's every bit as scrappy. Though you come into these Moto3 bikes, you got to learn how to set up the engine brake, the slipper clutch. They're a bit more advanced and a bit more horsepower to deal with. Obviously, the rookies' bikes are similar enough in terms of the stature and build, but they're not as powerful and not as racy as the Moto3 Grand Prix bike. So, hey, he's coming in as a proper wet behind the ears rookie, and he's having to figure things out, and he's doing so on the hop. Look, there's 3 abreast.
3 of them abreast in there, and this Peroni has to roll out. This Rueda tops it out. So Rueda on the 99 up into third place. Still Almanza leads. Then Piqueras is starting to work his way towards the front now. At the back of the group, Scott Ogden just being dropped off. He and Ralston not able to keep the pace with this front group. Bringing up the last of the point scoring positions, 9 seconds further back, Cormac Buchanan is in 15th.
That's a shame for Scott, and I did expect he and Ralston to have the pace to hang on. Carraro's just the last one in contact with this group, but yeah, that's it's obviously a long way to go yet. If Scott can get through on Ralston and maybe get back across.
Wow, Carpe riding around the outside, and now Pini coming into it as well. This is blink and you miss it stuff in the Moto3 Grand Prix of the United Kingdom. 5 laps remaining. Which way is it going to go? Jose Antonio Rueda already won 4 races this year. Technical problem, because he probably would have won in Qatar, but technical problem ruled him out there a couple of laps from the end. Of course, he was 3rd in Argentina. Looked imperious this year. 29 points clear of Piqueras in the championship, but now they are side by side on the racetrack. Piqueras around the outside.
This is what Piqueras does.
Wow.
We're looking 5 laps to go, and he clicks it up a gear. He just joins the party, gets aggressive, leading on top of Rueda from the outside. Wasn't prepared to give an inch. Look at this down the inside. Carpe was setting the fastest laps here on Friday as a real newbie around Silverstone. He's been impressive from the outset. He's a little wide here, leaving the door open, and Quiles is going to look at it, but yeah, not enough room on that occasion. Quiles thought better of it, and he did give best.
Set a new all-time lap record, didn't he, Carpe? On Friday afternoon, a 209.1. They're racing in 211s, although Piqueras just dropped. The personal best lap for Piqueras on that last lap, personal best for Carpe. You feel like there's still margin. As at the front, Alvaro Carpe takes over once more, having started from pole position. It's Almanza in second, and Quiles alongside him. Into the right-hander. Now Angel Piqueras is in front of us. We are riding on board with the championship leader, Jose Antonio Rueda, who started at the back of the grid.
Out of this front group, you've only got Lunetta on a soft rear tyre. The rest are all on the hard rear tyre. There's a couple of anomalies. David Almanza's got a soft front. Will that go the distance here when we're into the last third of the race?
Carpe hugs the inside, trying to force riders to go around the outside, and Quiles says, yeah, I'll do that then. I will take over, but then Almanza rides underneath him. It's 4-5 abreast through Stoke Corner. Someone sets up Piqueras onto the green paint on the outside, and Lunetta, having had 1 long lap penalty, there's another big lunge coming in from Lunetta. He's going to go briefly up into second, dropping back to third. Rueda leaves a bit of rubber on the shoulder of Lunetta, and then Peroni also coming through. Wow, and Lunetta onto the green paint on the outside of the final corner.
Yeah, look, Lunetta, he uses his stature to try and shove his way through there at Vale. It did cost him in the end of the run-through club. He did try and tough it out, but obviously that's 1 green indiscretion against his name.
Can't all end this race, can they? We've got a front group of 12 out there, all the way back to Nicola Carraro now, as Rueda up into second, past Quiles. That's the highest Rueda's been in this race so far.
Scott Ogden has got through on Ralston. He has pretty much the pace to match the lead group. If he can get across that little gap, he's just a second adrift at the moment, but all this battling will help.
You'd have thought so, but Almanza's trying to stretch them. Who's going to react? Carpe going to run wide at Brooklands. Can Piqueras get involved again? He had a spurt a couple of laps ago, but Almanza is starting to pull the pin here. I'm intrigued what this lap time's going to be here, Michael, because last lap, a 2:11.5 from Almanza. Lunetta, 2:11.3. The Hondas are working.
Yeah, they have been rolling around this track pretty good. A lot of fast corners where the Honda can take benefit in the middle of the corner. You witness, actually on there, it is the rider behind Rueda who's able to get the run up towards, not quite enough to make the pass into Baggett.
Interesting line from Quiles. Others followed him, just a wide run really through Copse, taking as much exit as you can. As we see a move, Jose Antonio Rueda from the back of the grid has now taken the lead in the British Grand Prix with 3.5 laps to go.
A bit of a twitch of the rear there, but Quiles getting a fantastic run out of Chapel Curve. Swings it all the way to the outside. He's on the racing line for the braking point, but yeah, swings it back in, takes the apex and takes the lead.
Yeah, and in doing so, it really messed up the exit for Almanza, didn't he? And suddenly he finds himself back in 5th and on the wrong side as they go down towards Vale. And you've got Guido Pini coming through and Luca Lunetta on his inside. Oh, my goodness me, as Angel Piqueras now comes through on him. It's Quiles back in front. Rueda is in 2nd place. All sorts going on behind, with Piqueras now up into 5th place. I thought a moment ago Almanza might be able to ride away from them, but it's Valentin Peroni who's the fastest rider on track now, the Argentine in 3rd.
Yeah, he's impressive. It's difficult here to break away from the lead group because of the wind, but around this racetrack there's not often you see a breakaway. So yeah, Almanza got his head down, but it was negated in pretty much 1 or 2 corners.
And again, we have another change in the leader. Jose Antonio Rueda once more. Quiles leaving a bit of rubber on the left leg of Valentin Peroni through there. 2.5 laps to go. Down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. Every single time you see them just trying to make their rivals go the long way round, and Quiles doesn't care. He's going to do it anyway, and he rides around Peroni into Brooklands. Almanza now to switch back to the inside. Right, I'm just thinking now of a couple of laps' time where you want to start positioning yourself.
Yeah, it's so difficult to call it, actually. When for the riders, I think Rueda will try and stay at the front, likewise Almanza. But Piqueras, I thought, would have the pace, and it seems he's struggling a little bit today. He's not as able to just stay in those front positions, but you don't rule him out in the last lap battle.
Here we go, Rueda's trying to stretch him, and again that line from Quiles. You're allowed to do that. No green paint on the outside of Cops Corner. Valentin Peroni and Almanza tough it out through Maggots. Rueda is stretching them here. He's pushing. He's trying to make sure that at least the podium is the worst he can get as he pushes them through. There's Carpe dropping backwards behind Angel Piqueras. But as it stands, Rueda is extending his championship lead from 29 out to 44. Down towards Stowe they go once more, and Rueda leads.
Quiles got the move on the inside here, and he does go for it every single time. If he looks at the inside, if there's a remote chance of making an overtake, the young Spanish rider tries to put his CF Moto KTM powered machine in there.
And again down into Vale. This is going to be tight between Lunetta and Almanza. Lunetta through, foot off the foot peg for Carpe as well as he drops back into 6th place. And Piqueras as well rides through that inside line of Alvaro Carpe there, allows Pini to come through. Piqueras is seriously aggressive. So we've said that about so many of these riders, haven't we? Rosato, another one who's now up into 8th.
Carpe just drifting a little bit too far down. He doesn't want to be getting this far away from the podium positions with 2 laps remaining.
Still chance though, isn't there? Still chance if you could have a stunning last couple of laps. His teammate Rueda leads though as Carpe again tries to find a way through. He's stuck behind Rosato. Piqueras is there in 6th. It's his rival Rueda who leads from Quiles with Peroni there in 3rd. Remarkable this from Peroni.
Yeah, impressive stuff from the young Argentine. He's by far and away the standout for me in terms of performance. He shouldn't be in here the second best. When you look at the 4 KTMs, Peroni's certainly the one with the least experience.
In top left, all the shenanigans going on Vale on the previous lap. Remember, they've got to go through there a couple of more times in this race. Rueda is pushing on at the front, trying to stretch them out. Guido Pini behind Angel Piqueras, that's 7th to 6th, with Almanza in front in 5th on the light blue Leopard bike. Quiles looking for an inside line as they went down towards Maga. It's got a lovely little bit of slipstream from Rueda.
Quiles looks so good here. He's grown in stature over the last year, but his positioning on the bike, it just looks it's quite elegant. It's so attacking at the same time. And I think he's got something up his sleeve for Jose Antonio Rueda over this last lap and a bit.
But Rueda's bike's pulling, isn't it? It's pulling, and even though Quiles has got that inside line, it all bunches up behind as they ride through Stowe for the penultimate occasion. Watch Rueda, is he going to try and block them off down into Vale? Is there any launches? Peroni keeps Lunetta on his inside. Lunetta a little bit of gas mid-corner, so he gets in front of Peroni. They come through Club, 1 lap to go, 3 2/3 of a mile. who is going to run out victorious. Personal best laps for Quiles. Fastest lap of the race for Furusato in 6th place. Keep an eye on the Japanese rider, who's come up to 5th now.
Yeah, through on Angel Piqueras into turn 1. Furusato, he's left it late here. I've seen him making some aggressive moves down in here into Village on the last lap. Once again, down the inside of Peroni.
Great stuff from Furusato, who started down in 19th place in this race, but it's not quite as good, is it, as Rueda, who is stretching them out front, pushing on the pace, not giving them the chance. They're battling for the final podium spot here with Max Quiles in second behind Rueda. Only contact surely you've got to feel is going to stop Rueda or Quiles from winning this race.
Yeah, I think the ante has been upped at the front of the field from the lead rider, Jose Antonio Rueda, having to come through from the back of the grid, but he's timed this just perfect.
This is scrapping going on for 3rd place. It's going to be tight through Lovefield. Piqueras has just slid underneath Peroni, has he? Yeah, and Furusato is also in there at the front. Rueda pushing them on, so it's Rueda from Quiles. They're the battling for the win at the front, and Furusato now up to 4th. What a last couple of laps this is from Tayo Furusato. As Piqueras moves up into 3rd, surely chance of victory is gone. What's Quiles going to do here? Has he got the run to be able to have a go at Rueda down into Stone?
He's looked at it the last 2 laps and not sent his machine through the inside. He needs to get a good exit here on Chapel through the hangar straight, and I think he will do. He'll definitely set up a slipstream manoeuvre.
Quiles there and a better run down towards Stoke Corner. He's pulling to the left-hand side of the racetrack. He's alongside Rueda, but Rueda will have the inside line down into Stowe. That's clever, but Max Quiles completely outbreaks Rueda. Is he able to bring it back round? He'll have the inside line. This is Max Quiles, his 3rd Grand Prix start. He's down towards Vale. Max Quiles, oh my goodness, he was too young to start a Grand Prix, but he's blown it. He's gone wide of Vale, has he? No. Rueda will ride underneath him. Rueda, I can't believe it, from the back of the grid. He's done what Alonso, Binder and Acosta have done. Jose Antonio Rueda wins the British Grand Prix from the back of the grid. Max Quiles is 2nd. Luca Lunetta takes 3rd for Italy and for Honda. Tayo Furusato is 4th. And Alvaro Carpe 5th in the end. Where's Piqueras?
He crashed at Vale in the last lap. I've seen someone lose the front in the middle of the left-hander, but yeah, he's on the deck, unfortunately.
Jake Burke waving the flag. He's going to be playing here at Silverstone later on this evening. But we have got another bit of history made here. A day of stunning racing at Silverstone, and where his rival Angel Piqueras crashed out in the melee on that last lap. From the back of the grid, Jose Antonio Rueda has taken victory in the British Grand Prix in Moto3. We'll just have a quick look at Angel Piqueras. Furusato was just out of shape in there. Oh, and there was collision, wasn't there, between Furusato and Piqueras. That one will be looked at by the stewards. What a Moto3 race. What a day of racing. And from the back of the grid, the championship leader, Jose Antonio Rueda, has now extended a huge lead over Piqueras in the championship with victory in the British Grand Prix. Welcome back to the Moto3 Parc Fermé after the British Grand Prix. We have had another barnstormer here at Silverstone. Luca Lunetta standing inside Parc Fermé for the first time this year for the Paolo Simoncelli 658 squad. There's Max Quiles, 17 years of age, his 3rd Grand Prix, was too young at the start of the year. Another one who has got part of the vertical management group, I believe, of the Marquez brothers, and also Michael from Murcia,
yeah,
of Acosta and Aldeguer fame.
Something in the water down there. Was Rueda, like, not sure why. Oh, sorry, it's Carpe.
Yeah,
I thought it was Rueda in his pit box, talking on with Thibaut Gravier, his crew chief. But it was a quality weekend for the rookie Alvaro Carpe. Just in those last few laps, lost touch a little bit, but yeah, quality weekend, quality battle, great race all around. But you got to say, Quiles, as you mentioned, the Murcians are really coming to the fore in motorcycle racing right now, and Quiles, one of the brightest prospects.
Of course, Jose Antonio Rueda won this race from the back of the grid, going where Brad Binder, David Alonso went before him, where Pedro Acosta won from pit lane. All of those riders won the World Championship. Rueda already, after 7 rounds, has 5 wins to his name. He takes a big lead in this championship. Valentin Perrone was excellent today. Hervé Poncharal was flabbergasted. This youngster, unheralded really, came in top 3 in the rookies last year. Born in Barcelona, very much someone who's been brought up on the Iberian Peninsula with our Argentinian parentage.
I've got to say there were a few raised eyebrows when he got the contract last year, and he's proven a few of the doubters wrong now.
Even from the team. I spoke to the team and they were not sure.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Luca Lunetta. Had a big collision with David Munoz early on, did a long lap loop and still got the podium.
Luca, what a brilliant ride to come through the long lap penalty, and after all of the struggles at the start of the year, just how much does it mean to be back on the podium?
Yes, it's difficult to say something because the emotions are a lot, but I want to thank my team because I always believe this, and myself because I never give up after some races of the start of the season that wasn't what I was expecting for this season, but it's okay now. I'm back. It's this weekend I feel good. I felt good from Friday, and everything went well. The race was difficult. I won't say sorry to I think Munoz, but it wasn't my intention to do this. But I'm super happy. I want to say hi to my grandfather, ciao nonno, and all my family. And I want to dedicate this race to one person that always wait me at home, and I have to come back and nothing. But I want to say hi to everyone and thank you very much. Ciao.
Well done, Luca.
Dai.
Dai, indeed. Well done to Luca Lunetta coming back. No intention, of course, with the David Munoz incident, but a right thing that he's penalised.
Yeah, there was a slight door ajar. He decided to stick his Honda in there. He done so quite aggressively, and the penalty was deserved. He took it well, cleanly, got onto the back of the group and worked hard. You can see the air duct. That probably was a contact with another rider to lift that one off his helmet.
I guess so. There is Marc Marquez celebrating with Maximo Quiles. 3 races for Quiles, 2 front rows, a pole position, and now his first podium. What a start. What a start to his Grand Prix career.
Max, what a brilliant ride. You pushed Jose Antonio all the way to the very end. How much does it mean to be onto the Grand Prix podium for the first time?
It feels great. I'm so happy. This was crazy race. From the beginning, I said, okay, I have to do a good result. So I went with a lot of energy, and I was trying all the time to be there on top 3 all the time. And yeah, then I saw that we were opening up, Rueda and me, and I said, okay, this is perfect. But yeah, I think the problem was that I think too much, and I said, okay, where do I overtake him? On the last corner? And I said, okay, I will overtake here on the straight. And I got a bit nervous, and in the chicane I went wide. But well, I still need more experience. I feel that I can improve more, but yeah, so happy with the P2.
A brilliant ride, well done.
Thank you, thank you.
I remind you, 17 years of age, 3rd Grand Prix, speaks English better than you or I, Michael, already. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an impressive kid all round. Knows he needs to gain a little more experience to tough it out with the likes of Jose Antonio Rueda in his 3rd year of Grand Prix racing. Classy ride from young Maximo all round, and the win will not be far away.
Yeah, remember, he's already been out with a couple of races with a fractured thumb as well, so let's hear from our race winner though. Stunning from the back of the grid. Rueda is your race winner.
Jose Antonio, congratulations from the back of the grid to victorious once again, and the best thing is you made it look easy.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the work. I think that we can make the good setup for the race with this win, and when I arrive to the group I say I need to push the last lap because everybody goes there and maybe the last lap are crazy, so for that I push on the limit to make the better pace and a little bit gap on the behind, and yeah, I'm very happy. I want to say thanks for my team or all my family that watching me now, and yeah, this race was incredible for me and for everybody to trust me.
An incredible ride. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. It really was great skill today from Jose Antonio Rueda. And the last offering of the day at Silverstone did not disappoint, did it?
I mean, 3 absolute crackers. I mean, we've sort of criticised this place a little bit. I mean, the atmosphere's not been here. The fans haven't quite turned up. But this track's sensational. And it delivers every time. Just 3 perfect races.
And what about Max Keeles? There, that final battle, it was just epic, wasn't it?
What a talent. You can tell the young lad is just full of talent. And he said it himself, just needed a little bit more experience. He was thinking a lot of where to go, where to attack, where to try and make the difference in that last lap. But Keeles, really impressive. I mean, the lad started the season late because he was too young to enter the races. It's his 3rd race, including an injury in the middle as well. And he's coming back and delivering like that. So yeah, he overdoes it a little bit there. He's going to run wide, and Rueda, with loads more experience, going to get the cut back. But what a race for Keeles, something to build on, and we definitely got very special talent there.
Yeah, it was really tight, wasn't it? And he said in his interview, I think I was overthinking it. And you can imagine why you would. You get all excited. You've got a chance of getting your first victory. Where can I do it? And I guess he just needs to just chill out a little bit. Or not, because does that exuberance win races sometimes?
I think it wins races. I think it's all talent. Of course, he's going to be anxious on that last lap. His heart's, your maximum heart rate, you're breathing in your helmet. And it's Moto3, so wherever you go for the pass, it's coming back as well. So I thought he did it absolutely perfect. Look, he braked a fraction too late into the Vale chicane. Put your hand up if you've not outbraked yourself once or twice in your career. I mean, that's part of it. But the feeling you get is he will learn from this, and he'll come back even stronger.
But the cream really does rise to the top. Jose Antonio Rueda from the back of the grid today.
Yeah, this year, I mean, Rueda, every time you get a flowy track, and he did that in Jerez already, he was so impressive there. Struggled a bit more in Le Mans, but then managed to pull it together. But around here, you just had more pace. So even starting last on the grid, he was able to come back, manage his tyre, because it's easy, even if you got the pace, easy when you start like that to panic a little bit, burn that tyre, and then you haven't got it for the end. He was patient, methodical, and yeah, faultless. So.
Yeah, once again in different conditions here.
Yeah, in all conditions. Whenever you watch Rueda, he is the class act in Moto3 this year. I mean, and that's just that just underlined it, hasn't it? Could he do it from the back of the grid? Not only did he do it, he did it with style. No silly moves. He was patient at the right times, but attacked the 3 laps to go just to stretch the field to prevent the silly dive bombs. I mean, there's a reason he's leading this championship. Yeah,
and he extends his lead as well, of course, with that victory today at the British Grand Prix. Let's celebrate on the podium. What a ride, Gav.
Yeah, it was 54 points, that lead now, Susie, between himself and Angel Piqueras. Piqueras, meanwhile, we saw Tayo Furusato was given a long lap penalty, effectively, so he's been dropped back to 12th, which promotes Carpe up to 4th as the IO team collect their trophy for today's win. Luca Lunetta on the podium for the first time this year, moves him up to 7th in the championship on 52 points. Max Keeles, 17 years of age, from Murcia, part of Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez's management group with the amazing Aspar team as well. He has a bright future ahead of him. But what's in store for Jose Antonio Rueda? Already 5 wins after 7 rounds. He's now won from the back of the grid. The only way was up today for him. He's on the top step and celebrates victory at the British Grand Prix in Moto3.
So it is then the final podium of the day. Jose Antonio Rueda from the back to the front, just proving that you can't keep a good man down. And he extends his advantage, as Gav says, as the champagne flows in. Max Keeler's tried everything in that last lap. What a talent he is. And Luca Lunetta, third today. Lovely scenes here at the Silverstone Sunshine. But elsewhere, this is what is going on TNT. Final day of the Premier League action, of course, as Aston Villa fight for a place in the Champions League. They face Manchester United, and it's the opening day from Roland Garros in Paris. The tennis coverage is getting into its full swing. But that's it. If you've been watching at a MotoGP party, you know there's 10,000 people at Tobacco Docks with the Bike Shed gang. We salute you. If you've been watching on Quest, we thank you so much for your company. On TNT Sports now, we have Checkered Flag. But that's it from Silverstone. So I think we can say, God save the best. See you soon.